The sky over Epsilon 9 glowed with a pale orange hue as the twin suns sank behind jagged mountains. Small clouds of dust swirled across the barren plains, catching the last rays of light. From above, the planet seemed calm, even lifeless, but beneath the surface, life thrived in ways the galaxy empire could not imagine. Humans had settled here decades ago, carving homes into rock and constructing small cities with modest technology. They were far behind the Empire in speed, in firepower, and in knowledge. At least that was what the aliens believed. The first alien observers hovered silently in their ships high above the colony. Their sleek vessels reflected the dying sunlight, and the crews watched through lenses that magnified every detail of human activity. They were certain of what they would see. After centuries of expanding across the galaxy, conquering planets, and absorbing civilizations, the aliens were confident that humanity would be nothing more than a minor curiosity. Inside one of the observation ships, Commander Velith of the Andromeden sector leaned over a glowing display. He watched as humans moved between their buildings, hauling goods, repairing vehicles, and working in small fields. They wore simple clothing, carried basic tools, and used wheeled carts rather than hovercrafts. Velith's three eyes narrowed. "They are barely developing," Velith said, his voice calm but filled with contempt. "Their technology is crude. They barely understand energy weapons, let alone starships capable of warp travel. They are slow, fragile, and primitive. We could crush them in a day if needed. They make little mistakes, but they correct them quickly. Their settlements are organized and they work together with coordination. It is unusual. Their curiosity may amuse us, that is all." The aliens might have thought the humans weak, but Amara had spent years learning to navigate dangerous situations with limited resources. Improvisation was her strength. Her mission was simple: gather data on the region's magnetic storms and return before nightfall. Yet she noticed the glint of something strange in the sky, a flash of light that did not belong to the suns. She squinted, adjusting the controls to zoom in. Through the instruments, she saw what appeared to be a large alien vessel hovering silently above the colony. Amara's heart did not race. Fear was never her guide, observation and analysis were. She noted the craft's shape, its unusual energy signature, and the patterns of movement. It moved slowly, scanning, measuring, probing. She recorded the data and smiled quietly. The humans below had prepared for this. They had always known that the galaxy was full of eyes watching, waiting. What the aliens did not know was that humans had learned to hide their full abilities, even from observers like these. As she steered her ship back toward the colony, the alien observers reacted to her maneuvers. Their sensors picked up the small craft, but no matter what they tried, they could not track it accurately. The humans had deployed a simple but clever technique that disrupted the alien tracking. Velith frowned at the readings. "Impossible," he whispered. "They should be within our range. How are they moving like this? Our instruments do not account for such irregular patterns. This is a distraction, nothing more. We will continue observing, that is all." Engineers repaired damaged equipment, using tools of simple design but applying them with expert hands. Among the humans, there was no panic, no awe, and no fear of the distant ships that shimmered faintly in the atmosphere. The humans had learned long ago that survival depended not on blind submission, but on observation, adaptation, and teamwork. Every community had protocols for unexpected arrivals, every family knew how to respond to threats, and every individual had skills honed for situations the aliens could not anticipate. In one workshop, a human scientist named Dr. Kellen examined a small generator. It was old and unreliable, yet Kellen smiled as he made adjustments. He understood the principle behind its design, the underlying physics, and the flaws that came with age. With careful recalibration, he restored the generator to full function. Later, the same device would help power the colony's defenses in ways the aliens could not predict. Meanwhile, Commander Velith and his observers continued their study from above. They watched the humans working, growing, living, and thought them harmless. Yet small details caught their attention: the way humans modified machines on the fly, the efficiency of their teamwork, the subtle coordination that no alien sensor could fully map. These details were dismissed at first, but curiosity began to creep in. "Perhaps they are clever," Leora suggested cautiously. "Not in strength, not in power, but in adaptation. They survive despite their limitations. They are beneath us." All seemed peaceful, yet beneath the surface, human minds were always thinking, always planning, always preparing. Captain Amara walked along a narrow path leading to the colony's central hub. She passed other humans, nodding in greeting, exchanging quick words about the day's work. They were united not by force, but by understanding. Every person knew the value of intelligence, cooperation, and creativity. Every person contributed, and every person was capable of surprising the galaxy in ways no alien could anticipate. As Amara reached her quarters, she paused and looked up at the night sky. She could see the faint outlines of the alien vessels through the atmosphere. Most humans would have been terrified, but she felt only focus. She knew they were being watched. She knew the observers believed the humans weak, that they underestimated the species entirely. She tapped a few commands into her console, sending false signals and decoys into the sky. The aliens would continue to see what they wanted to see. Fragile humans with primitive technology, struggling to survive. They would never guess the hidden strength beneath. And that strength was not measured in firepower alone. It was in resourcefulness, in adaptability, in ingenuity, and in the stubborn, unyielding spirit that had allowed humanity to survive on a harsh planet like Epsilon 9. That spirit was invisible to the aliens, yet it was precisely what would later make them pause, then tremble, when the full extent of human potential was revealed. By dawn, the alien observers had grown restless. Veleth's confidence had been shaken, though he would never admit it. Their instruments could detect no hidden weapons, no sudden surges of power, yet something about the humans defied their understanding. Leora observed the humans working together as the first rays of sunlight illuminated the plains. "They adapt," she said softly. "Every time we try to predict them, they find a new path, a new solution." It is remarkable. What if they had been wrong? What if these humans were hiding something? What if the calm they displayed, the simplicity of their lives, and the modesty of their technology were a mask for something far greater? Captain Amara returned to her quarters, unaware that the aliens above were beginning to question everything they knew about humanity. She uploaded her data from the scout mission, adding small distortions to obscure their movements. She reviewed the readings and made minor adjustments to the colony's sensors. It was all routine, yet it was preparation for a galaxy that had no idea what was about to awaken. The night deepened, and Epsilon 9 lay silent under the twin moons. Humans slept, worked, and planned, always ready, always learning. And somewhere above, the Galaxy Empire's observers continued their watch, confident they understood the species below. They did not. Humanity had survived this long not because it was strong in ways the aliens could measure, but because it was strong in ways the aliens could not imagine. And soon, the first hints of that strength would force the Empire to reconsider every assumption it had made about the galaxy, and about the species it had once dismissed as weak. The sun rose over Epsilon 9, painting the jagged mountains in shades of gold and orange. The colony stirred with life. Humans moved quickly through streets, carrying supplies, checking machines, and speaking in hurried but calm voices. It was a world of quiet determination, a world where every action mattered. Captain Amara walked through the main hub, her eyes scanning the crowd. Nothing went unnoticed, and everything had a purpose. Above them, the alien observation ships hovered silently. Veleth watched the colony with his three eyes, his confidence still firm but starting to crack at the edges. The small human scout ship had been too clever to track yesterday, and now he wondered what else the humans might hide. Leora, beside him, studied the humans below with fascination. "They are adapting again," she said quietly, brushing her tentacle along the control panel. "Every time we try to understand their patterns, they change. They do not react like any other species we have encountered." The humans' calm focus, their subtle ingenuity, and the efficiency with which they carried out their daily routines were unusual. More than that, it was the confidence that unsettled him, the quiet certainty that no matter the challenge, they would find a way forward. Captain Amara was already preparing for the day's work. The scouts had detected unusual readings near the northern plateaus, where magnetic storms were more frequent. It was routine for humans to study their environment, but the timing was curious. The alien ships were monitoring them, but Amara was unconcerned. She knew the aliens expected fear. They expected hesitation. Instead, she approached the mission with precision. Her team gathered in the hangar. Engineers checked engines, analysts verified sensors, and navigators mapped the safest path through the storm zones. They worked quietly, communicating in concise, effective phrases. There was no panic, no argument, no wasted motion. Every human understood their role. Every human contributed. "We move at first light," Amara said, her voice calm but firm. "We cannot let the readings remain unexplored. If there are anomalies, we need to understand them before nightfall." They were slow compared to alien vessels, but speed was not their strength. Ingenuity was, and ingenuity often trumped raw power. Velith watched from above, anticipating an easy capture or, at the very least, a predictable pattern of movement. But what he saw confused him. The human ships did not fly in straight lines. They twisted and turned in ways that seemed chaotic, yet every movement was precise. Energy pulses from their engines flickered in patterns that interfered with alien sensors. Velith frowned. "What trickery is this?" he demanded. Leora's tentacles hovered over the control panel. "It is not trickery, Commander. They are using the environment, the magnetic fields, the storms themselves to shield their movements. It is intelligent adaptation. They are hiding, yes, but not out of fear. They are controlling what is seen. They are beneath us. We have a clear window for the pass." Every attempt to scan, track, or interfere failed. On the surface, the humans discovered something unusual. A series of small energy anomalies, faint but detectable, pulsed across the northern plateau. These anomalies seemed to interact with natural magnetic fields in strange ways. Amara studied the readings carefully. "These are not natural storms," she said, eyes narrowing. "Something or someone has been manipulating this region. They are interfering with the environment itself," he said. "This is impossible. They should be incapable of such manipulation. Weak, limited, they cannot possibly match the Empire in knowledge or power." "This could change everything," she whispered. "If we harness it, we can amplify our sensors, shield our ships, even predict storms before they happen." "They are faster than we thought," Leora admitted. "They respond to challenges we cannot predict. Every move they make is calculated, yet it appears spontaneous. How could a species so small, so seemingly fragile, operate with such efficiency? How could they adapt so quickly, turn the environment to their advantage, and evade detection at every turn?" The more he observed, the more uneasy he became. Meanwhile, the humans completed their survey and returned to the colony. They brought with them detailed data, sketches of the anomalies, and proposals for harnessing the energy network. Amara led her crew into the planning hall where scientists, engineers, and leaders gathered. "We have something new," she announced. "The northern anomalies are not random. They are connected in a grid beneath the surface. If we study them carefully, we can use them to improve every system we have, from sensors to communication to power distribution. We are stronger because we think as one. The galaxy will see us differently when we are ready. They do not retreat. They adapt, they plan, they think beyond what we expect. Nothing more." They measured strength by weapons, fleets, and raw energy output. They did not account for human ingenuity, teamwork, or the ability to turn weakness into advantage. That evening, the twin moons rose over Epsilon 9. The colony glowed softly with lights from energy cells and workshops. Humans moved about quietly, repairing equipment, studying data, and preparing for the next day. Captain Amara stood at the edge of the settlement, looking toward the horizon where the alien ships hovered. "They are watching," she said softly, almost to herself. "Let them think what they want. They see only what we allow. They will not understand what humanity truly is, yet." Humans repaired, rebuilt, and innovated, all while staying calm under scrutiny. Above, Velith and Leora observed, growing increasingly frustrated. They had expected weakness, simplicity, and fear. Instead, they found ingenuity, courage, and the beginnings of a pattern they could not comprehend. In the quiet of the night, a single thought echoed in the minds of the humans. Survival depended on observation, adaptation, and cooperation. Strength was not always measured by the size of one's weapons or the number of one's ships. Sometimes, strength was measured in cleverness, creativity, and the ability to remain unshakable when all eyes were upon you. And for the first time, the Galaxy Empire began to sense that the humans they had dismissed might be something far greater than they had ever imagined. The winds of Epsilon 9 howled across the northern plateaus as the human colony prepared for another day of exploration and study. Captain Amara stood on the highest ridge near the settlement, her eyes scanning the horizon. The alien ships still lingered above, silent observers, their sleek forms shimmering faintly against the morning sun. They watched every human movement, confident that they understood the species below. Yet the humans had already begun to show that the aliens' assumptions were wrong. Amara turned to her crew, a group of engineers, scientists, and scouts. "Today, we explore the anomalies further," she said. "We gather data, test our theories, and prepare for anything. The storms are unpredictable, but we can use them to our advantage if we stay sharp." Their strength was not in weapons or technology. It was in adaptability, intelligence, and teamwork. Below the surface of the northern plateau, the energy grid revealed itself in subtle, pulsing patterns. Humans had mapped part of it the day before, but as they studied the anomalies, new behavior emerged. The energy currents shifted unpredictably, creating pathways that could either hinder or assist movement. Amara smiled at the challenge. This was exactly what humans thrived on: complexity. The alien observers, Velith and Leora, tracked the humans with growing concern. "They are moving into the anomalies," Velith said, his voice tight. "We know they cannot withstand our technology. Yet they are entering regions that are highly unstable. Let them play their games. We will act only if necessary." Each person contributed to the larger understanding, noticing patterns and predicting outcomes. Amara's ship hovered above a deep fissure where energy surged erratically. She studied the readings and adjusted her instruments. "We can stabilize this section," she said. "Use the field modulators to channel the currents. Watch for sudden spikes. They will move differently if we interfere." They gave the humans both confidence and practical advantage. Below the alien ships, Velith observed the changes in real time. "Impossible," he muttered. "They manipulate the environment itself. This is beyond comprehension. They should not be able to do this." They observe, they understand, and then they act. Their actions integrate with the environment, not against it. That is the key difference. They were solving problems in ways no alien AI could anticipate. As the humans explored further, they encountered a natural canyon filled with dense energy fluctuations. The readings were unstable, and any direct passage would have damaged their equipment. Yet Amara did not hesitate. She studied the patterns, noting the tiny shifts and pauses. "This is not just observation," she said quietly. "It is prediction. We can move through this if we time it correctly and adjust dynamically." Above, Velith's frustration grew. "How can they do this?" he asked. "Our instruments cannot account for their methods. They act too fast, too accurately. They respond to the environment, not just react. This is disturbing. And even now, they are showing only a fraction of what they are capable of." And yet these humans, with their modest technology, had navigated dangers that would have destroyed any other species. Amara and her team continued their survey, uncovering hidden pockets of energy that could be harnessed for multiple purposes. Communications improved, sensors became more sensitive, and even minor weather disturbances could now be predicted. Every discovery made them stronger, more capable, more prepared for challenges ahead. It was not only technical skill that set them apart. It was their resilience, their patience, their unwavering focus under scrutiny. No matter the danger, no matter the unknown, they acted with clarity. Fear did not guide them. Panic did not control them. Every human knew that the galaxy was watching, and they moved with purpose, not hesitation. The alien observers began to whisper among themselves. Leora's voice carried curiosity tinged with unease. "We have underestimated them. They are not weak. They are adaptable, intelligent, and coordinated in ways we cannot fully grasp. Commander, what if we have misjudged?" It was as though they operated with an entirely different logic, one that did not rely on brute strength but on understanding, ingenuity, and intuition. Later, as the humans returned to the colony, they shared their findings with engineers and scientists. Dr. Kellen studied the data and nodded slowly. "This changes everything," he said. "The energy anomalies can be integrated into our systems. It is subtle, but it will give us advantages we have never imagined. Strength is in understanding, in adaptation, and in ingenuity." The humans were clever, more than clever. They were unpredictable, capable, and growing stronger with each passing hour. Velith spoke quietly to himself. "They are still humans, but they are different. How can a species so small, so fragile, act with such precision, such intelligence? They survive because they think, because they adapt, because they cooperate. And we have not yet seen what they are truly capable of." Every discovery was carefully recorded, analyzed, and integrated into their systems. Every success built confidence, and every challenge sharpened their skills. Captain Amara stood again on the ridge, looking at the alien ships far above. "Let them watch," she whispered. "They see only what we allow. They think they understand us, but they do not." They have no idea how far we can go. They had come expecting weakness, simplicity, and fear. Instead, they found skill, courage, and intelligence that surpassed every prediction. And far above, Captain Velith could not ignore the truth any longer. These humans, small and underestimated, were not what they seemed. They were adaptable, cunning, and capable of turning even the most dangerous situation to their advantage. And the realization left him with a cold, uneasy feeling he had never experienced before. Humanity was awakening, and the galaxy, the Empire included, was not ready for what was coming. The morning sun stretched across the plains of Epsilon 9, spilling golden light over the small human colony. Captain Amara walked along the outer perimeter, observing her people as they moved with quiet efficiency. Engineers repaired energy conduits, scouts calibrated sensors, and scientists analyzed the anomalies discovered in the northern plateaus. Life seemed ordinary, almost peaceful, but beneath the surface, humans were preparing to reveal something the galaxy would never forget. Above them, the alien observation ships drifted silently. Commander Velith's 3 eyes scanned the colony with increasing tension. Every day, the humans revealed more of their skill, more of their ingenuity, and yet the aliens had seen only a fraction of their potential. Leora, beside him, tapped a delicate pattern on the console, her tentacles moving rapidly. "They are remarkable," she whispered. "I have never seen a species learn, adapt, and anticipate so quickly. They are not weak. They are something else entirely." Nothing more. The data from the northern anomalies had revealed a hidden network of energy currents, one that could amplify communication signals, stabilize machinery, and even redirect small energy flows to assist human vehicles and equipment. The possibilities were immense. "This network is more than just energy," Amara explained. "It can enhance our systems, predict environmental changes, and help us respond faster than any alien technology we've encountered. But it must be used carefully. Every adjustment has consequences. We can create shields to protect the colony during storms. We can even use it to test defensive protocols against potential threats. Now it is time to prepare for what is coming." The humans were not merely using the technology, they were enhancing it, improving it, integrating it into every aspect of their daily life. "They are experimenting," Velith said, his tentacles tapping the console. "Their resources are limited. This should not succeed. This is advanced problem-solving, unlike anything we have cataloged." Vehicles and drones moved with improved precision, guided by the subtle flow of energy currents. For the first time, the humans saw what the network could truly do. Amara smiled. "It is not just technology," she said. "It is collaboration, between people, between machines, between us and nature. That is how humans survive and how we will thrive." They are improving systems far beyond their apparent capabilities. This is illogical. How can such primitive beings achieve this? Their fleet is minimal, their weapons limited. Observation is sufficient, do not overthink. As the day progressed, a sudden alert rang through the human communication network. A minor meteor shower approached from the east, moving faster than predicted. Where any ordinary colony might panic, humans responded with calm precision. Sensors tracked each meteor, calculating trajectory and impact potential. Drones were deployed to divert debris when possible. Shields were activated, powered by the energy network, forming protective barriers around critical areas. Amara coordinated the response with clear, concise commands. "Drones adjust course, shields at maximum, monitor every deviation, keep communication lines open." The meteor shower passed with minimal damage, thanks to their preparation, innovation, and quick thinking. Even Velith could not ignore the effectiveness of their actions. "They survived a meteor shower that would have destroyed most colonies," he muttered. "And they did it without panic, without fear, with precision. They are showing us a glimpse of what they can do. This is only a fraction of their potential." And yet these humans, small, underestimated, and seemingly fragile, continued to adapt, survive, and thrive under conditions that would have challenged the strongest alien species. In the following hours, Amara's team focused on further enhancements. They connected more devices to the energy network, tested new defensive systems, and trained additional personnel to integrate the technology into daily operations. Every action was deliberate, calculated, and purposeful. The humans were no longer merely surviving. They were becoming stronger, more capable, and more prepared than the aliens could imagine. Above, the alien observers began to whisper among themselves. "They are different," Leora said. "We assumed weakness, but they are clever, adaptable, and capable. They are stronger than we expected." Humans had revealed capabilities that the aliens had never predicted. They had turned limitation into advantage, chaos into order, and observation into strategy. And they had done it without showing fear, without losing focus, and without revealing the full extent of their power. As evening fell, Amara stood on the ridge once more, watching her people work. She reflected on their progress. The humans had always survived because they understood one simple truth. Strength was not measured by raw power, but by adaptability, intelligence, and cooperation. And that strength, though hidden, was now becoming evident. The alien observers, meanwhile, struggled to interpret what they had seen. Velith's mind raced with uncertainty. How could a species so small, so seemingly fragile, manipulate energy, adapt to danger, and improve their systems faster than any alien technology? Leora could only shake her head in awe. "They have been holding back," she said softly. "They could do far more if they wished, and even now they are showing us capabilities we cannot understand." "They are humans," he repeated. "Limited, weak, we will continue observing, that is all." And yet this was only the beginning. The humans had revealed part of their hidden strength, but the full extent of their potential remained concealed. The aliens had seen a glimpse of what humanity could do, but they had not yet seen the true measure of HFY, the ingenuity, resilience, and adaptability that could turn the galaxy itself on its head. As the stars appeared above Epsilon 9, Captain Amara looked toward the alien ships. She smiled faintly, knowing they watched her, expecting weakness, simplicity, and fear. They would not find it. Humanity had survived and thrived for millennia because they understood the value of observation, adaptation, and cooperation. Now they were ready to demonstrate that strength in ways the galaxy had never imagined. Velith's tentacles hovered over the console as he studied the humans below. "They are different," he admitted quietly. "We underestimated them. I see it now. They are clever, resilient, and capable of far more than we ever imagined. This is only a fraction of what they are capable of. Imagine what they could do if fully unleashed." And now, even in part, they had shown a power that could rival the greatest civilizations in the galaxy. Captain Amara returned to the central hub, her mind focused. The humans had prepared, adapted, and survived. The aliens above had seen only a glimpse. Humanity's true strength remained hidden, a force that could reshape the galaxy when the time came. The night deepened, and the colony glowed softly under the twin moons. Humans moved quietly, working, learning, and preparing. The Galaxy Empire continued its observation, unaware of the full measure of what humanity could do. And as the stars shone above, one truth became clear. The humans of Epsilon 9 were not only surviving, they were awakening. Their hidden HFY strength, restrained for centuries, was beginning to reveal itself. And when it fully emerged, the galaxy would never be the same. The colony of Epsilon 9 glowed softly under the twin moons, lights flickering across the buildings, sensor towers, and energy conduits. The humans moved through the streets with quiet determination, focused on their work, unaware of how closely the Galaxy Empire watched them from above. Captain Amara stood on a high ridge, observing her people, the alien ships hovering silently in orbit beyond the atmosphere. The Empire's observers had been shocked by what they had seen over the past days. Humans had survived storms, adapted to anomalies, and harnessed hidden energy networks in ways that defied every prediction. Commander Velith's confidence had been shaken, and Leora's curiosity had grown into something more, awe tinged with fear. But the humans themselves remained calm, unaware of the full effect they had on their watchers. Amara turned to her team in the Ridge's command tent. "We are ready," she said quietly. "They think we are limited, they think they understand us, but they have seen only a fraction of what we are capable of. Today, we show restraint and strength together. Remember, every action matters, every decision counts." The humans worked in perfect synchrony, as though every thought and movement were part of a larger plan. What the aliens had assumed to be simple improvisation was actually careful preparation. Above, Velith observed the humans' activities with increasing unease. "They are preparing something," he muttered. "But what?" "They do not have the fleets or weapons to challenge us directly." "Nothing more." The faint pulses of energy spread outward, forming invisible shields, reinforcing structures, and creating pathways that enhanced human mobility. Small scout ships moved through the night sky with silent precision, navigating terrain that the Empire's sensors could not track. Drones flew ahead, mapping the area, detecting potential threats, and relaying information back to the command tent. Every device, every system, every person contributed to the larger whole. Velith's sensors tried to interpret the activity, but they could not. The humans' actions were deliberate but unpredictable, precise yet seemingly spontaneous. Every attempt to anticipate their next move failed. "They are controlling the environment itself," Velith muttered. "This is impossible. No species should be capable of this." Hidden beneath the surface were small defensive systems, energy pulse generators, mobility enhancers, and automated shields, all linked to the energy network. None of these were weapons in the traditional sense. There was no destruction intended, only protection, coordination, and control of the environment. Yet the effect was profound. A minor tremor from a distant meteor shook part of the colony. In an instant, the human systems responded. Shields reinforced weakened structures, drones diverted debris, and energy flows absorbed the shock. What could have caused panic became routine, executed with precision, calm, and efficiency. Amara smiled at the control panels. "They see only what we allow," she whispered. "They think we are small, limited, fragile. Let them continue underestimating us. That is their mistake. Now, even in part, they are showing strength that surpasses everything we assumed, and we have not seen the full measure." Communication became instantaneous, sensor accuracy tripled, and mobility across the terrain improved dramatically. This was not just technology, it was strategy, intelligence, and teamwork combined. Every human contributed, every device adapted, and every system responded in harmony. What the aliens assumed was primitive ingenuity was in fact deliberate mastery. Velith's three eyes flickered with frustration and disbelief. "They are turning limitation into power. How can they do this with so few resources? Their fleet, their technology, it is not enough. They rely on creativity, resilience, and coordination. That is their strength." They had learned long ago that true strength was measured not by weapons alone, but by the ability to survive, adapt, and act decisively when needed. The alien observers, sensing this, began to shift in their ships. Velith's confidence faltered. Every attempt to predict the humans' next action failed. Every observation led to more questions than answers. The humans were moving as one, using intellect, environment, and teamwork to achieve results no alien technology could anticipate. "They are changing the situation without fighting," Velith muttered. "This makes no sense. They are humans. They should be weak, limited, predictable, but they are none of those things. They are humanity at its best, clever, resilient, adaptable. They have been underestimated, and now, even in part, they are demonstrating their full potential." Even the smallest building, the narrowest passage, and the simplest vehicle were now connected to the network, enhancing coordination and mobility across the colony. The alien ships attempted to intervene, sending scanning pulses and minor probes to disrupt the human systems. Every attempt failed. The humans had anticipated interference and had prepared countermeasures, subtle adjustments in energy flows, temporary sensor blackouts, and rapid rerouting of data streams. The Empire's technology could detect some of the actions, but it could not predict or understand the humans' responses. Velith's voice trembled slightly, though he tried to hide it. They adapt faster than anything in our history. They turn observation into strategy. They integrate knowledge, environment, and action seamlessly. How is this possible? But they choose restraint. That is their greatest strength. They had shown that strength was not only in weapons, numbers, or raw power. It was in intelligence, cooperation, and adaptability. The alien observers were forced to reassess everything they knew. Velith, for the first time in his career, felt the weight of true uncertainty. Humanity was not what it appeared to be. It was stronger, smarter, and more resilient than any other species he had encountered, and it had only shown a fraction of its potential. "They underestimated us," Amara whispered to herself, "and that is their mistake." The aliens watched, silent and unnerved, unable to comprehend the full scope of what they saw. Humans were clever, resourceful, and relentless. They had transformed limitation into advantage and observation into power. By dawn, the aliens convened in their ships. Velith's tentacles hovered over the console, his eyes flickering in frustration. "We have misjudged them," he admitted, though he hated to say it aloud. "They are not weak. They are capable of far more than we ever imagined. This is only a fraction of what they can do if fully unleashed." And when the time comes, humanity will act decisively, but always with purpose and intelligence. Even in part, humans had revealed a strength that could challenge the Empire, reshape strategies, and demand respect from every civilization in the galaxy. As the twin suns rose once more over Epsilon 9, Captain Amara looked toward the horizon. She smiled faintly, knowing the humans had proven their point. The Galaxy Empire had seen only a fraction of what humanity could do. When the full measure of their ingenuity, resilience, and strength was revealed, the galaxy would never be the same. And far above, Commander Velith stared at the humans below with a mixture of awe and fear. "They are not what we expected," he whispered. "They are more. And they have only begun to show us what it means to be HFY." The Galaxy Empire would never forget this night. And neither would the humans. The stars shone above Epsilon 9, and the humans moved through their world with quiet determination, ready for the future, ready for challenges, and ready to prove that the spirit of HFY could never be underestimated.